All right, guys, so recapping last night's event over at the Huset Speedway for the prelim night to the Huset's Hustle. It was $20,000 to win, and now tonight, as long as it doesn't rain out, which is not looking very good, sets up tonight's race, which is $100,000 to win. So last night, pretty darn good race at Huset Speedway. They have to do a lot of work to that racetrack throughout the night for it to race good in the feature. They usually have to prep it 2 or 3 times, between the heats and the feature and all that type of stuff, just to make sure that they have a surface that's not going to take rubber right throughout the night. So they did a really good job of that. They kept up with it all night. The heats were kind of not the best, but that's not what everybody comes for. They come for the feature event, and this feature was really good. 3 different leaders, like 5 different lead changes, a lot of good stuff, and a lot of good storylines. And some of the storylines involved several high-profile drivers not even making the show in the first place. And I mentioned this during the preview video, looking at the 5 guys from the Outlaws, the 5 guys from High Limit, and the 5 guys from the Invader side of things. There was at least 2 guys from each of those lists that did not make one of the shows during last year's Huset High Bank Nationals due to the track conditions and the heat races, due to how the format is. That is what happens. And there was guys like Schuhart and Larson and McFadden and Brian Brown, and I know I'm missing a couple of guys in there, but there was a lot of guys that just really struggled here to get out of the B main. The B main almost looked like the feature lineup. It was absolutely stacked. There was guys having to come from deep, and some of them really came up short, including all those guys I just mentioned just now. So wild night. The feature is what everybody cares about, and that was what was the most exciting part of the night. And so let's jump right into it. So we'll start over here with the lap by lap that I wrote down here. Aaron Reitzel, he jumped out to on lap 1, Reitzel, it was Reitzel and Hodenshield on the front row of the feature. And on the start, Reitzel jumps the start. They throw the caution. He gets sent back to the second row, promoting Ryan Timms up to the front row. And if you remember back to that video I was just talking about a moment ago, previewing the race, I had Timms ranked up pretty high on my list of guys that could potentially win from the Invader side of things, and he was no slouch in this one. So he gets moved up to the front row, and like we saw several times throughout the night, that outside the front row starting position was very key. He jumped out front. Sheldon Hodenshield was in second, and Tyler and Aaron Reitzel slotted into third for the first few laps. So Timms leads lap number 1, and on lap 2, Tyler Courtney makes his way by Aaron Reitzel into the third spot. Lap 10, so nothing really happens from lap 2 to lap 10. Timms finally gets into the back of the field, starts getting into traffic, and he's making pretty good work of the traffic as he's doing it. He's not making any mistakes. He's making aggressive maneuvers to get by cars, whether that's a slider, whether that's driving around him on the outside. He's making moves and trying to make sure that nobody can catch up to him. On lap 15, the running order in the top 5 is Timms, Hodenshield, Courtney, Macedo, and Reitzel. So Macedo had made his way by Reitzel there in the first 15 laps of the main event. This is a 35-lapper, by the way. Lap 16, Sheldon takes the lead as Timms kind of ran the middle, and there was not much room for Sheldon to get under there, but he absolutely hammered the bottom perfectly. The car was at that perfectly pitched angle and left front up on the berm, and was able to kind of surprise and catch Ryan Timms off guard and take the lead away on lap 16. Lap 17, though, Timms almost does the exact same maneuver in 3 and 4 again, and on lap 17, he takes the lead right back away. Then on lap 18, the very next lap, Sheldon runs the top in turn 3, turns the car hard down the track, and gets a huge run down the straightaway, gets by Ryan Timms, and he retakes the lead. Then lap 18, at the same time as Sheldon taking the lead, the top 3 drivers, Sheldon, Timms, and Courtney, all within a half second of each other in the middle of lap traffic. Then on lap number 20, Tyler Courtney makes his way by Ryan Timms. He goes up into the second position. And a lap later, the first caution, well, besides the jump start for Reitzel, the first caution / red flag comes out on lap 21 when Dason Pursley flips over the Eikenberry 25. He was okay, got out of the car, walked away. Lap number 27 after the restart, Buddy Kofoid, who started this race in 22nd, was the second guy in from the B main, so he finished P2 in the B main. He was already into the 10th position with still 8 laps to go. And I mentioned him in that preview video as well, that he was my number 1 guy to win this race at some point this week, win one of the big money shows. And he absolutely looked like the best car in the field here, passing so many cars to get up to, he passed, 15 cars to get up to 7th on a track where many guys struggled to pass. Buddy Kofoid was able to make that car go anywhere. Lap 28, Tyler Courtney with a huge run off of turn number 4. Almost the same thing that Sheldon did to Tim's, kind of caught him off guard, shot to the inside in the middle of lap traffic, and took the lead away. That was into turn number 1. So Courtney didn't actually lead the lap, but he went into turn 1, slid in front of Sheldon, drove away down the backstretch. And on that same lap in turns 3 and 4, Sheldon hits some kind of debris or something. The right rear tire explodes. He pulls into the infield, and his night at a chance of winning the race came to an end. At the same time, under that same caution, Chase Randall also got a flat tire, had to pull into the work area and get it changed out. Lap 29, Tim Kading moves up to P5, getting around Gio Scelzi. And on that same lap, Aaron Reitzel gets by Carson Macedo to move into the 3rd spot. So fantastic run for Aaron Reitzel. Fantastic run for Tim Kading. There was a couple of comments on the YouTube video during the preview video that I did not mention Tim Kading. And I don't know why I did, man. I should have had him on there. I had Garrett Williamson on there. We made the show, didn't have a great run. Probably should have swapped him out for Tim Kading, but Tim already has a win there this year, and he was fantastic last night. And then on lap 35, the race is over. Checkered comes out. Courtney wins by 1.616 seconds at the line over Ryan Timms and Aaron Reitzel. Completing the top 5 was Carson Macedo and Tim Kading. Brad Sweet moves from 12th up to 6th, and he's sitting decent in the point standings going into tonight. Buddy Kofoid, easily the story of the night, in my opinion, maybe besides Ryan Timms. 22nd to 7th for him. Gio Scelzi, 8th to 8th. David Gravel was right there following Buddy up through the field. He went 20th to 9th, so a good rebound for the 2 car after having a tough time in the heat race and qualifying. Rico Abreu loses a few spots to 10th. And then Austin McCarl, he was 11th. Donnie Schatz up 5 to 12th. Spencer Baston ended up 13th. Good run for Corey Eliason. He was quick time overall in qualifying. Had to come out of the B-main because he only went 6 to 6 in the heat race. He won the B and went 21st to 14th. A decent night for that team and that car. And so solid job by Corey Eliason. Bill Baylog, 15th. Sheldon Hodenshield, after leading a lot of laps in this one, he finishes up in 16th. Brock Zierfoss, 17th. Anthony Macri, a no-show for this one. I mean, he started in 15th. He finishes 18th. Was a non-factor this entire race, even though a few weeks ago he got a win at Huset Speedway during weekly action. And he's been very fast this year. As you know, 8 wins this year for him. He finishes in 18th. Not a good night for him. Blown tire for Chase Randall. He ends up 19th. Landon Brooks was somebody that I was super impressed with. He easily, it wasn't even close, had the hardest heat race of the night. He had Brad Sweet in there. He had Kyle Larson. He had David Gravel. He had Logan Schuart. He had a couple other guys in his heat race. He started on the pole, led the first couple laps, had a great battle with Brad Sweet. He ends up in second, holding off, Larson and Schuart and Gravel and all those guys behind him. Not the best feature finish, but his first ever time to Huset Speedway. This team only has 6 or 7 starts together. And, Landon Brooks has less than 15 410 starts, maybe less than 20 410 starts in his career. Solid run for him all night long. Ends up in 20th, keeps the car in one piece. Garrett Williamson, 21st. Landon Crawley was another story in this one, was leading the heat race on the last corner, and Carson Macedo I don't know if he was trying to make a slider happen or if they kind of met in the middle. Crawley came down and Macedo came up. They got together. Somehow Crawley did not flip, hung on to second. He finished 22nd. Dason Perza after flipping 23rd. And Caleb Johnson did not take the green flag. I saw that Connor Wade got an interview with him, but I had the TV on mute at the time. I was doing something else in my house and I wasn't listening. I just looked up and saw Caleb Johnson on the screen without his fire suit on. Not sure what happened to him, but he did not start the race. He finished up in 24th. Your lap leaders, 1 through 14, was Ryan Timms, and then 16 to 17, Timms. Sheldon Hodenshield led lap 15, and then 17 to 27. And Tyler Courtney led laps 28 to 35. The point standings after night 1 going into the Huset's High Bank Hustle tonight, these guys are all looking pretty good. Tyler Courtney leads the points. Carson Macedo 3 behind him in second. Ryan Timms 7 behind in third. Aaron Reitzel is not 6 behind. I'm not sure what number that's supposed to be, but he is 4th. I know that. I just have the wrong number on there. Tim Kading, 5th in points for Tim Kading. I mean, this is pretty good stuff from him. Brad Sweet, 6th. Gio Scelzi, 7th. Rico Abreu, 8th. Buddy Kofoid rebounds so well to get to 9th in the point standings. And then Austin McCarl is in 10th right now. So all 10 of those guys are looking pretty good to have a decent starting position for tonight's race at Huset Speedway for the Huset's Hustle. Tonight, supposed to pay $100,000 to win. We'll see if the weather cooperates. If it does not, that's really going to suck because they had a really good race last night and want to keep that momentum going in to tonight. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. You could say High Limit won this race. They had 1, they had 2, they had 3 in the top 10. The Outlaws 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe the guys you could talk about are the Invaders. 1, 2, 3 right there. 1 right outside the top 10 as well. The Invaders, in my opinion, were the most impressive guys all night long in this entire show. So fantastic program. Great race last night. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below as far as the race goes. Hit subscribe, hit like, and we'll talk to you again here very soon on the YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll talk again soon.